little fatigue.
Does the structure of that schedule with last week and the next few weeks coming up, where there's road games in the middle of the week and then coming home for a little bit, does that force you to change anything as far as the routine goes and that sort of thing?
No, I'm just going to play it by ear. After, like for instance, before we went on this trip, we were scheduled to practice at Georgetown University in Washington before we flew. Mm-hmm. After the game, I told everybody we were still going to practice in Georgetown. And then when I got back to the hotel, I thought about it and I said, you know what, these guys are tired. And so it'd just be best to meet and watch film when we land in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And so I had Gary or somebody contact all the players after they left the arena, thinking we were going to practice the next day. So we just got to kind of do things based on how we feel with our guys, and not necessarily have a set schedule because of what the schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many times did you either practice or have a shoot around on this trip?
We had a shoot around in Detroit. We didn't practice at all. We had a shoot around in Detroit. We played. We did not have a shoot around in Washington. We played. And then we were scheduled to practice at Georgetown the next morning. I canceled that, like I said, at the last second. Had a film session instead when we got to Minnesota. And then we had a shoot around yesterday, a partial shoot around yesterday, a half of a shoot around yesterday. Well, because we have a schedule that we don't have any contact during shoot around, but we do have a schedule of what we do. We keep it at about an hour, including film and some other things. And it was less than that yesterday. So we didn't do everything that we normally do during shoot around. So that's what a partial is.
You guys are already like 40 games into the season. Does it feel like a whirlwind, the fact that we've had 40 games since December 25th?
Yeah.
Quickly?
No, it has.
Yeah.
But again, I think that some people may not feel it. Some may feel it. But that's, again, every team's going through it. So
it was going to be a different experience for you coming into a new team this year, no matter what. But
right.
Can you compare it to an 82-game season you had with Cleveland, or is it completely different?
It's completely different. Yeah, I never had a feeling like this before.
Yeah. Were you in San Antonio in '99?
No, I was there from 2000 to 2003.
Where were you?
I was in Washington from '97. I think from '97 to 2000.
Is there anything you draw on that? It was different sort of schedule.
It was tough from the standpoint that it was my second year coaching. I think when the lockout happened and the head coach that I was with, Bernie Bickerstaff, had gotten fired halfway through the season, and we were barely a playoff team, and then so there were some changes that were made. I think we had just traded Chris for Mitch, and so it was, and with me being very young and inexperienced, I didn't really feel it back then. I was just happy all the time. I'm not happy all the time now. Yeah.
Are there any telltale signs that you look for in terms of not necessarily individually, or either individually or as a group, that tell you that the team's fatigued and might need more rest than where rest might be more beneficial in practice?
You try to look at the body language, and that's part of the reason why yesterday we only had a partial shoot around. Because after we watched Boston, the personnel tape for Boston, and we walked out on the floor, as the guys were walking out on the floor, I kind of felt their body language, and so what we did was we basically walked through Boston's plays. Then I let them go. Guys that wanted to stay and shoot can shoot. Guys that wanted to go home or do whatever, go ahead and do it. So I think at times, you can feel it or sense it, and it's not that they're complaining or anything like that, because this group has not complained much at all about stuff that we've done, and to cut us short. If I say, hey, we're going to practice, and I go for 2 hours, they just keep practicing. Now they may complain about it afterwards, but not during the course of practice. They just do whatever I ask them to do. So it wasn't like anybody was saying, Coach, can we get out of here or anything like that. I just felt it, and so I let them go.
When you talk about body language, like what kind of things are you looking for that kind of
No,
give you
just
a
like,
good?
I mean, just like if you were walking in here, because you're a pretty chirpy guy, you know. And chirpy, I guess.
That means something else in hockey.
Okay. Great. Well, but like if you were walking in here and you were holding your camera, if you were holding it down here and you were just like that, you know, then I might say, you know what, JB, I got to cut this session short because Mark Medina is a little tired. You might want to go back to the press room.
You
and
want
rest.
to do that?
You know? I mean, it's just like anybody, you know,
Right.
you know, anybody that you're around, you could tell if guys are a little tired or people are a little tired, and you know, that's all it is. It's just reading people's body. Or
We look
body
for that
language.
same body language in him too. Yeah,
Do you see it often?
yeah. A little, the season's a grind. Carrying that camera,
It's very
I
heavy.
like it.
I mean,
Mike, you know, we